The Underdog's Guide to Making Varsity Basketball. I'm very excited to make this video when I was writing it out and everything because this is the exact advice that younger Mark needed. This is what I needed when I was a freshman in high school, even in my sophomore year. Let's dive into it. First thing, do not tell other people your goals. And if you do, expect a negative outcome. Let me tell you a story. When I was in my freshman year of high school, I remember I was in my business class, economics, and after the teacher had got done giving us a lecture or whatever, I was sitting at my desk, and there was a couple other people around me. We were all just chatting it up, And I said within the conversation, "Yo, bro, I'm going to help our school win a championship. I'm going to lead this team to win the state, win the conference." And I'll never forget this. Everybody that I was chatting with, who were my friends at the time, they laughed at me and made fun of me for even saying that. For the whole rest of the day. It was the last period of our school day. And so from the moment I said it until the time we were walking out to our buses, even when we were walking out to the school buses, I was still getting made fun of. Because I said I was going to do something big. And that taught me a valuable lesson. That taught me that you cannot tell your dreams to small-minded people. And most people are. I'm not saying that they're unintelligent. What I mean is that most people don't allow themselves to dream big anymore. After they get past a certain age, they get realistic. They want to take the safe route, right? And experimenting outside of that can be dangerous. And look, people can do that, right? I don't got a problem with it. You do you if that's what you want. But for the people that want something more, it doesn't really benefit you to talk to other people about what you're trying to do. People talk about that work in silence. I guess you got to work in silence, but don't be corny about it either. Just do your thing, man. And if people are curious about it, they ask you, yeah, you can tell them. You don't have to be Mr. Mysterious, But yeah, don't go around telling everybody what you plan on doing. You might think, oh, well, it'll put a chip on my shoulder. It'll give me motivation if they make fun of me. Well, here's the thing, right? So either you get made fun of and people laugh at you, make fun of you, and they're just basically not preying on your downfall because I don't think they actually wish harm on you. Most people don't. But, when you do mess up, they're going to talk about it and they're going to laugh. And they're going to bring up, oh, you remember when you were talking about that one day, how you were going to lead this team to a championship, bro? They're going to laugh about it because it's just a joke. And if you do succeed, well, okay, great. Cool. Right? You could have just done it without telling them in the first place. And let's say before you even do the thing, you're talking to them and they encourage you. It actually takes away some of the motivation. If you know Andrew Huberman, I believe he did a podcast on this a while ago. He's some kind of scientist. I don't know, like a biologist or brain neuroscience. I'm not on his level, right? But I remember that hearing something that he said, and it really changed how I went about things. He said that the way our motivation and our drive works is once you go around telling people what you're trying to do, it actually accomplishes the goal in your mind. Most times when we have a goal, the big thing that we want to come out of it is status. And look, you might be saying, oh, no, I'm different. I just do it for me. But you do everything for some level of status or love from others, respect from it's just human nature, right? But by you going around saying, hey, man, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get a six-pack. By you saying that, you get the same result because people are going to say, yeah, dude, that's awesome. But you could have just done the thing and then got that same result, right? People would say, wow, that's really cool. That's impressive. I personally think it's better to do the thing and then talk about it if you really want to talk about it so bad. Honestly, what you'll find is that when you achieve success, you don't need to talk about it. You'll just have that confidence of like, yeah, I know what I did. And the best feeling in the world, man, is when other people talk about you because they see how successful you are. I remember after I gained a lot of success in basketball in my high school years, people would make fun of me like, oh yeah, I've never seen you play. Are you any good? And then people will be like, yo, do you know who you're talking to? Like, of course they're half kidding, but they're kind of serious about it. They're like, yo, you're talking to Mark Hallman. And it's just cool that way, man. So the first lesson to being an underdog in high school basketball, if you want to make your varsity team, is don't go around telling everybody what you're trying to do. All right, just go out there and do it. Next, get your school stuff in check. You need to value your time. Okay? When you're in school, you got to finish all your schoolwork. Don't wait until you get home. I always get this excuse because I talk to you guys a lot in, the community, the basketball huddle, or the varsity basketball blueprint. By the way, if you want a full guide to making the varsity basketball team, click that link in the description. You got to get your school stuff in check because if you go home, right? You go home and you got extra homework to do. That's taking away time that you could have spent on the basketball court. Let's say you got an hour of homework every night. That's an hour of your time that you don't have anymore. That's dedicated to school. So what you should do is what I did, man. For a full year, my junior year and my sophomore year, actually, so it was like kind of like 2 years or a year and a half. I went to the school library every day during lunch instead of eating in the cafeteria. Maybe it was lonely at times, but it's whatever. I had bigger goals. And I just did all my work inside the library, or I got tutoring from other teachers. That way, when I was done school, I was actually done school completely. When I was on the school bus, on the ride home or to school, I would do work on the bus. So I never actually, rarely ever, had schoolwork at home. And that way, I had from 3 o'clock, which is the time I got home, from 3 p.m. till, I want to say 8 p.m., but I went to bed late, 11:30 or 12. So I had from 3 o'clock till the entire rest of the day to get my workouts in. And people wonder how I was able to work out for 4 or 5 hours a day back then. It's because I didn't have any homework. So speaking of which, talking about how much I worked, the next tip I have for you is do double or triple the work everybody around you is doing. If you clicked on this video, you associate yourself with the term underdog, which is cool. I love it. The Rocky movies are my favorite. I love a good underdog story. I love it. And you're a lot like me in that way. You have to do double or triple the work to get just as much results as everybody else if you feel like that, right? What's that football quote? Something about yards. I'm gonna butcher this quote. You have to fight twice as hard for 1 yard or whatever the quote is. I'm messing it up, but you have to put in more work than everybody else to compete. And then if you want to dominate, you have to do even more. So let's say your peers in high school on the varsity team work out. They go to team practices. They do that. Let's say on the upper end, they work out on their own about 4 times a week. So let's say 4 to 5 hours every week they work on their game outside of team practice. For you, you have to do 8 to 12 a week at least, right? For me, during that span from my sophomore year to my senior year before my injury, I think I averaged around 25 to 30 hours a week of training, whether that was on the basketball court, in the weight room, watching film. I was committed. I treated it like a job because that was my business. That's what I loved. So ask yourself, how can I fit in more work every single day? By the way, having a good plan is the best way to do that, right? If you're just shooting around for 5 hours, that's not going to be very effective. But if you have a set plan for an hour and a half, dude, you're going to get so much done. If you want a full workout plan, full lifting routine, in season, out of season, all that, once again, Varsity Basketball Blueprint, just for you. Top link in the description. All right. This next thing I want to talk about isn't just about basketball. It's about life. Life isn't fair. I'm going to say it again. Life isn't fair. I have advantages that other people don't have, right? I live in a home with a nice family. I have my own room. I have a phone that I can record these videos. I was able to afford a microphone. Like, I know I have my advantages. I also have my disadvantages, right? Everybody has advantages and disadvantages. Life isn't fair. We're not given the same hand when we're born, right? Everybody plays with a different deck of cards. But the cool thing about life is that once you realize life isn't fair, you start to look for the advantages that you do have. And you stop feeling bad for using them. So let's say you're short, unathletic, you're white like me. Let's say you're short, white, unathletic, right? All right. A lot of people would argue you have some of the cards stacked against you in basketball. Straight up, let's be real. People expect you to just be a shooter in the corner, not to do anything special, right? You can break out of that mold by focusing on what you do have, right? Okay, maybe you're not the fastest, maybe you're not the strongest, right? But you can develop your IQ. You can watch a ton of film. You can recognize the opportunities when they come, and you can become a really crafty player. If you are super athletic, if you can jump out the gym, if you can run really fast, bro, stop feeling bad for using that. Like, use it. Dude, if you can run faster than everybody else, shoot, that's your game. So, understand that life isn't fair. All right? And stop complaining that it's not fair. Next, educate yourself. I have a big emphasis on myself, my personal education. I like to read a lot of books. I listen to, like business stuff. I listen to self-improvement. I just love all that stuff. You should really focus on educating yourself to the highest level for a few reasons. The first is that when you start reading books, I personally found that my focus improved. When you first start reading, you're going to find that you're going to have a hard time actually comprehending what you read. You're going to read a couple lines like, let me see, like, all right, in the beginning when the story started, oh wait, what line did I just read? Oh wait, let me read that again. In the beginning when the story, oh wait, shoot, I lost my place again. I thought of a random song I listened to the other day. Like, your focus kind of sucks. It kind of sucks. And that's normal. Shoot, I still struggle with it to this day. But when you commit to improving yourself in every area, not just in basketball, but just all around, you become a more well-rounded, human being, right? Now, I actually said this in the past. I don't like the term, I'm well-rounded, because I like the idea of focusing all in on one thing, right? For basketball, that's your obsession, right? Everything you do ties into it. So you studying other things helps you in basketball. That's like your big purpose, your mission, and that's what's going to drive you and fuel your motivation. So if you ever struggle with motivation, ask yourself, what's my mission? What's my purpose? Once you have a mission and a purpose, motivation, you don't even need it. You just have it. Or you don't even need to search for it. It's already there. All right. So educate yourself. Educate yourself with basketball too. Honestly, have fun with this. Research history of the NBA. Like, what happened in the first NBA Finals? Who won? Let me hear about the stories of NBA legends like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, LeBron James. Like, let me listen to Jeff Teague talk about the funny stories of NBA players. Just get engrossed in the game. Educate yourself in every way. Study the best coaches of all time. One of the books I have over there is from John Wooden. What is it called? My Personal Best. So educate yourself in every way. Next, winner's identity. All right, so you call yourself an underdog. You associate with that way of living. That's awesome. I think it's very powerful. just make sure you don't have a victim mentality alongside that. Like, oh man, I'm an underdog. People don't understand me. Like, all right, we get it, right? Have a winner's identity. Yeah, I'm in the underdog, right? Okay, I'm just like Rocky in Rocky 1 and Rocky 2. Like, I just want to go the distance. You know, I don't, maybe I don't expect to win right now, but if I keep working, I keep fighting, in the end, I'll still be standing. I like that mentality. That's a winner's identity to me. And shoot, if you keep trying long enough, you're going to succeed. When I started this YouTube channel, I've said this story before and I'm going to say it again. I posted 150 videos and I had 600 subscribers to show for it. But I had this phrase that I kept saying to myself: I can never fail if I never quit. Also, another phrase that I said to myself was, if I keep doing this, right, I will eventually no longer suck. You might suck right now. You might not be the most skilled. You might not be the most talented player, but if you keep working at it long enough, eventually you won't suck anymore. Have that winner's identity. With that identity, by the way, it transfers to every other aspect of your life. If you have a winner's identity, it's not just for basketball, right? You want to be in the best conditioning, like the best shape of your life. Well, you're not going to eat that little snack because you're going to see that little piece of cake or whatever, and you're going to say, I'm a winner. I don't want that. That's not going to help me win. So everything also gets tied into winning. I'm a winner. You treat yourself with more respect. You treat yourself like you're that guy because you believe you are. All right, next thing. You need to be okay with work without reward for a pretty long time. If I wanted to just, blow some smoke here, I would say, oh, you can do it. You can make varsity in 90 days. And I could say all that, and, that just wouldn't be the truth, right? You have to be okay with putting in tons of hours, tons of reps, without the instant reward. You have to be able to delay the gratification of achieving that goal. You may have heard that concept before, delaying gratification and, eat the frog, right? But in a practical sense here, you have to figure out what is getting in the way of my dreams, my aspirations, and what do I need to subtract from my life. A lot of the times when we're working towards big goals, we don't need to add more stuff because our life is already full of a bunch of stuff. We need to subtract things. What's something that's distracting you? What's something that takes your attention away from your goals? I'll give you some personal examples. When I was in high school, in my freshman year, I had Snapchat, I had Instagram, I never had TikTok. Thankfully, I never had TikTok. But Snapchat and Instagram were something that took away my attention a lot. And it was so hard to get rid of them because everybody was like, dude, that's how we communicate, man. That's how we stay in touch, But I remember this particular day, I said, you know what? I gotta lock in, bro. I don't like where I'm at. So I made a post on Instagram, and I just said, here's my number. If you want to reach out, there you go. I'm not going to be on Instagram anymore. And then I deleted it. I also deleted Snapchat. And through that, I found out who my true friends are, because some people got my number and actually wanted to continue talking to me. Others, not so much, and that's fine. So I'd recommend deleting the social media platforms that you have. I know there might be a lot of pushback on that. You might be thinking, well, that's how I communicate with everybody. That's how I stay in touch. But if it's taking away your focus, it's a big distraction for you. It's a time waster. You got to have the respect for yourself to handle it accordingly, or at least limit it. Like, check it once or twice a day. Don't check it 50 times throughout the day. Also, when it comes to cutting things out, you gotta figure out what foods don't help you perform at your best. If you're eating crap food, it's probably not gonna help you on the basketball court. If you got potato chips, you got Takis and Cheetos, that's not really gonna be beneficial to you. Try to get more vegetables, more meat. Like, you know all this stuff, but you're just not really acting on it because you haven't set your mind to it. You haven't committed. And I want to help you to commit because you don't want to look back at this time and regret it. You don't want to look back and say, I wish I did more. I wish I had better habits. You owe it to your future self to start the good stuff now. I just really don't want you to regret anything, man. Alright? I hope this video helped you. And if you're really serious about making the varsity team, once again, Varsity Basketball Blueprint, link in the description. But as always, keep God first. Stay blessed, bro.